Hi guys, it's Princess and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I do weigh-ins and just talk about my weight loss journey and do what I eat a day videos. And I also like to give you guys new recipes that you guys can try that I have found on Google or Instagram or anything like that. But the two recipes I have found was me looking up on the internet. So if you're interested in those type of videos, make sure you go ahead and like this one and make sure you go ahead and check out my other ones and subscribe to my channel if you want to do so. But the two recipes I have for you guys involves the crock pot, which is the sesame seed chicken. And then another one is just baking, which is a honey banana coffee cake. And the main reason I even made the coffee cake is because my husband wanted coffee cake. So I was like, you know what, I'll find you a healthy coffee cake recipe, which I did, and I want to share it with you guys. So I filmed these videos separate days and I just put it in one, and here I am making my intro video just to let you guys know about them, and they're both just healthy recipes that you guys can try if you choose to do so. Without further ado, I'm just gonna go ahead and let the video play. The first one is gonna be sesame chicken, and then the next one is just going to be the coffee cake. Thing I do is put 1/4 cup of ketchup, 1/4 of low sodium soy sauce, and 1/4 cup of honey. Then throw in 2 teaspoons of garlic, and then I put 1 tablespoon of sriracha. I had to use half a tablespoon because I couldn't find my 1 tablespoon. But yeah, and after I get done with that, I'm going ahead and mix that all together, and that is going to be my sauce. I then laid my crock pot lining down because, like I said in the previous video, ain't nobody feel like cleaning out no crock pot. And then I put my chicken breasts in there, and I put garlic. It does ask for a pound of chicken breast, but I was 2 ounces off, which is fine. And then I just go ahead and throw my sauce on it, and I make sure that my onions have the sauce on it, just because I just want everything to have the flavor. And then I close it and cook it for about 2.5 hours. Once the time is up, I go ahead and take out the chicken breast and I shred it up. Of course, any meat that's getting cooked in a crock pot is super easy to shred up because it gets super tender. And once I'm done with that, I put 1 tablespoon of cornstarch in the pan to thicken up the sauce. And then I put my shredded chicken in there and let it cook for 30 minutes, and then it's done. Also, I did put some sesame seeds in it because it's sesame seed chicken. And this is what my plate looked like for this day. It tastes awesome with white rice. Now moving on to the coffee cake, I go ahead and smash up my 3 bananas, and I keep on doing that until I get it to this consistency you see right here, and that is perfect. And then once I have it that consistency, I put a 1/2 cup of applesauce and then a half a cup of honey, and then I go ahead and stir that together. I add 1.5 cups of sugar, and then the recipe calls to add 2 eggs, but I add 1 at a time and stir. I grab a separate bowl to put my dry ingredients together, and I put 3 cups of flour, 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 3/4 teaspoon salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And then I mix that together, and then I set it aside and do another of my wet ingredient. And that includes an 8-ounce Greek yogurt, and I'm going to go ahead and measure that with my food scale. And then I do 1 tablespoon of vanilla and 1/4 cup of milk, and then I mix that together. And then once I'm done with all that, I go ahead and mix my wet ingredients with my banana mix, and then I do my dry ingredients also. Now I use two 8x8 foil pans, and I go ahead and spray it down so you know this doesn't stick. And then I go ahead and put them each evenly as I can. And then I go ahead and put that in the oven at 350 for 10 minutes. The whole reason for putting it in for 10 minutes is because we have to make the topping. And I do a half a cup of flour, a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a half a cup of brown sugar, and 4 tablespoons of butter. And what I found works best for me is to melt the butter and then you go ahead and put the butter in, so then it's much more easier. And I go ahead and mix and I push down so it all gets that little crumble effect I want. And then I take my pan out the oven and I go ahead and sprinkle it on the top of the cake. And I feel like it's best to use my hands while doing this because it just makes more of a clump mess than just using a spoon. And this is what my 2 pans look like when they came out the oven. You can see they browned up on the top and just look super good. And this is a close-up look of what it looks like when it has been cut into. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to try these recipes out, go ahead and do so. I did put the links down in the description. But also, I wanted to say that I did change up the recipe a little bit for the coffee cake. It asked for applesauce, and I did unsweetened applesauce. And I believe that's all I've changed with it. It does ask for butter, but if you do want to find a healthy alternative for butter, I advise you to do so. But yeah, guys, make sure you try out these recipes. And I have plenty more recipes I want to show you guys because I just love cooking and love baking. But I'm going to try to keep the baking for once a month because I don't want to continue to keep on baking and baking. Even though I'm finding healthy recipes, it's just I don't want to continue baking and get into that habit. So I'm probably gonna find one dessert recipe that I want to do once a month. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.